ready? Good evening. Welcome to the Milford Township Municipal Building and the Monthly Planning Commission meeting. This time I call the meeting of January 9th, 2024 to order. All please rise and join us in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. If you have not yet signed the attendance sheet on that round table back there, please do for the records. Next, I'd like to introduce the Planning Commission and our support staff. Starting on my left, far out there, is David Fugate. Next to him is Pete Cabea and Doug Prozan. From my left from my right, your left is Denise Bizarro, the recording secretary, and next to her is, Dave Skelly, and right next to me here is Tony Sitter. And I am Gene Strohmeyer, the chairman of the Planning Commission. Behind us, the young lady on my left side back there is Jennifer Niasen, the Township Council. Next to her is Matt Waldinger, the Director of Planning and Development. And the young lady on my right back there is Julie Maggio, the Assistant Zoning and Development Officer. And next to her is Matt Puzz, the Zoning and Development Officer. Before we begin, I would call for a motion to accept the minutes of last month's meeting as written. So moved.
Second.
Second. Any comments? All in favor? Aye. Any nays? Okay, very good. Thank you very much. Milford Planning Commission is a recommending body that hears testimony, asks and answers questions, deliberates and passes our recommendations on to the Milford supervisors who make the final decisions on the issues brought before us. The subdivision and or land development discussed tonight, if acted on by the Planning Commission, will be considered by the Township supervisors at their regular meeting to be held on Tuesday, January 23rd, 2024 at 4:30 p.m. in this room here. All right, the first item on the agenda tonight is a replot of the lands of Douglas W. and Tamara Bagnoni. It's a subdivision plan to show the creation of a 0.75 acre lot, parcel A, from 2407 Norcross Road, which is to become an integral part of 5307 Chadwick Road, creating a 1.63 lot with a residual lot of 0.66 acres along the east line of Chadwick, south of Norcross Road and track 333. Someone here to represent that? Sir, ma'am, somebody, please come to the podium and give us your name and address.
Hello, I'm Jenna Soder. I live at the 5307 Chadwick Road address, looking to purchase this property. Did you say state the reason?
Pardon me?
Did you say to state the reason?
No.
Or just my name? Okay. That's it.
Okay, so you're looking at taking them taking the lot and splitting their lot in two, essentially.
It's Mr. Bagnoni's lot, splitting it into two.
Yep.
Add on to ours, yes.
Yes, and the back half of theirs will be added onto yours.
Correct.
Okay. All right, anybody have any questions for her? Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Okay. This next item on the agenda then is subdivision plan for part of the land of Westminster Place Partnership. It's a small subdivision plan to show the creation of a 215-foot by 200-foot parcel A from tax parcel, I will read the whole number there, resulting in a residual lot of 8.746 acres along the north line of Zimmerly Road, west of Zook Road and track 348. Sir.
Good evening, sir. Here tonight representing this subdivision plan. It's a fairly square parcel, right with frontage on Zimmerly Road. We'd like to subdivide the land off, and there'll be the residual parcel you spoke about. The development of that square parcel we'll talk about. That's the next agenda item.
Mm-hmm. Okay, any questions for Mike? All right, stay right there if you want to.
Sure.
Okay, now we have the land development plan for that same lot there. It's a land development plan to show the construction of a 10,640 square foot retail store establishment at newly created parcel A with associated stormwater management facilities and off-street parking along North Line of Zimmerly Road and west of Zook Road and Track 348.
Correct. So as described, it's a proposed retail store and parking on this parcel we just talked about. It would have its access from Zimmerly Road, and we submitted to PennDOT as required. Of course, we submitted our various permits to the Conservation District and also your consulting engineer for the stormwater design. The way we set up the access to the property, it would be a shared access between this retail property and then the residual tract behind. So one driveway for both of this use and then the future use. Of course, served by public sewer and public water as well.
Okay. Any questions for him? Down here? Oh, okay, next, Mr. Sanford.
Did we ever pass that
Oh.
motion limiting the number of dollar stores within a certain reason?
One every 5 miles, buddy, one every 5 miles.
Jocularity a little
Hello.
bit.
Anybody else have any comments about this? Sir, please come up here and give us your name and address.
So my name is Brandon Smith, and I live 2675 Zimmerly Road. I'm just wondering if this Dollar General goes through, what's happening with like the road? Because Zimmerly's a narrow road, and it's already super busy. So with a retail store being put right on Zimmerly, how's that going to affect the traffic flow on Zimmerly? Because there's always a lot of people walking to the country fair on Zimmerly. So it's already kind of an unsafe road to begin with. And I think putting a Dollar General right there is going to just increase people walking on that road, making it even more unsafe.
All right. Anybody have any?
Do we have
Oh.
a sidewalk? I know there's a sidewalk across the street.
No, as soon as right as Walnut Creek goes, right where this barrier is, that's where the sidewalk stops.
Okay, there will be a sidewalk.
There'll be a continued sidewalk.
Continue sidewalk, yeah.
Yeah,
To the,
as soon as where the proposed lot is, there's no sidewalk.
That's right, to the west.
That's all.
Okay, but there will be, across this property here, yes. Okay. Okay, thank you. Okay, that's the last of the 3 items on the agenda for tonight. We will now go back over them again and give our recommendations to the township supervisor based on your testimony and what we know about it. Okay, the first item is the replot of the lands of Douglas and Tamara Bignoni. It's a subdivision plan to show the creation of a .75 acre lot, parcel A from 2407 Norcross Road, which has become an integral part of 5307 Chadwick Road, creating a 1.63 acre lot with a residual lot of .68 acres along the east line of Chadwick Road, south of Norcross Road in Track 333. Have a recommendation or any discussion?
Make a motion to approve?
Make a motion to approve. Pete? Do I have a second for that? Okay. Not having gotten a second, we have a recommendation or a motion to deny it.
You want to
Anybody?
explain why?
Hmm?
You want to explain why?
Okay, the reason why this would be happening is that you also probably already know that neither way you wanted to do this before or you want to do it now meets the requirements for the average of the square footage or acreage for each lot. Okay? All right, so what you're doing is taking a larger lot and breaking it essentially in half that would be their property off of on Norcross, and adding it to yours, which reduces the size of theirs considerably, which is way below the average of the properties in the subdivision, as it stands right now. You want to have a question?
Well, what their lot will end up being is what, comparable to what our current lot is.
Your current lots, I think, are pretty close to being the same as they are right now, yes.
Right.
Yes. But that was done long before we had, the ordinances in place that we have nowadays. Okay? That was done a long time ago. And, yeah. So, anybody want to discuss that with her at all, about things? About what could be done, or what needs to be done?
So, clarify, what's the motion we have currently we're acting on?
We currently really don't have one.
There's
We
no
are,
second.
we are now in the discussion mode of this whole thing here, before we, yeah.
Can we go back and address the first motion? And can I make a second to that motion?
Yeah, we don't have
Okay.
a second.
After the fact?
There is no first motion anymore.
Well,
Okay.
Pete,
Pete can make his
I-
motion again then.
Dave, if you want to adapt that and make your statement, that's fine,
Okay.
unless you want me to just adjust my
So his
motion.
motion is back on the table.
Listen to what he has to say.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're just going
Yeah, I
around,
missed
they're
that.
going
Yeah.
around.
approve this subdivision, which will require modification on the part of the supervisors. That's my
Okay.
motion.
The modification is for because of the sizes of the lots.
Right, they'll have to approve a change to the regulations to allow a smaller lot to be created, even though, you're right, you're flip-flopping the yard in the middle.
Okay?
My motion is to approve with the modification.
Okay. Any further discussion on this? All right, all in favor of that motion?
Aye.
Anyone opposed?
No.
You're opposed? Okay, we have one opposition here. All right. Okay, in the second one, there's a subdivision plan for part of the land of Westminster Place Partnership. It's a small subdivision to show the creation of a 215 by 200 foot parcel A from tax parcel, again, I won't read it, resulting in a residual lot of 8.746 acres along the north line of Zimmerly Road, west of Zook Road and track 348. I hear a recommendation, or a motion.
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve.
Second that.
Second, any further discussion on this one? All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Very good, thank you. And then we go to the last one here, the land development plan for the Dollar General. Land development, the plan to show the construction of a 10,640 square foot retail business establishment at newly created parcel A with associated stormwater management facilities and off-street parking along the north line of Zimmerly Road and west of Zook Road in track 348.
I don't want another dollar store, but I'll make a motion.
Motion to approve. Okay, motion seconded? Okay, any further discussion on that one?
Just for my own edification, Matt, what is, to speak to the question that was raised, what is the process that PennDOT uses to approve it in terms of traffic? And let's just say something was going in there, there would be 50,000 cars a day, that's an exaggeration, but what is the process they use to determine whether the road can manage the increased traffic?
Honestly, I'm unable to answer that. I've never been part of the highway occupancy permit process, but I assume that they take into account the type of use, what type of traffic it's going to generate, including, large trucks, cars, pedestrian safety as well, so.
So let's just say if something that would appear to cause an undue amount of traffic, hopefully at that point, the PennDOT process would put up at least a yellow light or something to do that.
Correct, yeah, I believe they would make comments, send it back to the engineer, have them either address them or, you know,
Well,
modify the
without
application.
PennDOT having some type of opposition to this, it kind of makes it hard for us to say we can't approve it because of increased traffic, even though it may increase traffic, obviously it will increase.
Correct, yes, Zimmerly Road is a PennDOT right-of-way, so they do have the authority to grant or deny access to their right-of-way.
Thank you.
If I may, just to clarify a little bit, and I'm not an expert either, they do have different classifications of these highway occupancy permits. I believe that's minimum, low, medium, and high volume. Each one has its own criteria. Usually there are what's known as trip generation books, so you can look at a retail store with a certain square footage and predict how many cars per day it will generate. And that's usually how you apply for that permit, depending on, that's your volume for your application. And then depending on the different steps, PennDOT has different criteria for each of those. So if you had a, you know, high volume, if you wanted to put in a Walmart where you generate a large amount, then they would go through a different process than they would with the smaller retail, so. But yeah, everybody was correct in that PennDOT controls the access and the township doesn't have any say.
Thank you. The more of these you have, the less traffic you should have each one of them, right?
That's the business.
Okay, next on
Oh.
the, I'm sorry.
Was there a vote on that?
No, not yet.
Hmm?
We haven't voted.
Oh, I'm sorry, yeah, we didn't. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Okay, thank you very much. Sorry about that. Next item on the, of new business here, under new business, is the nomination election of office for the year 2024. Does anybody have any recommendations for the officer for 2024? Aren't you the, no, your buddy is, nominating.
Was Scott the nominating committee?
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's why he called to say he was bummed he couldn't be here.
Okay, does anybody have, want any of the, take the responsibility for any of the jobs except for the treasurer? You don't get a chance at that one.
Well, I'll stay on as secretary.
You'll stay on as
And I'll
secretary.
nominate you as chairman.
Okay.
What else are we, what other positions?
The,
And just,
I'll nominate Doug Roseanne as secretary. We're starting low and moving our way up. Sorry, Doug.
okay, we do generally have a deputy assistant secretary, chairman also, correct? There's a
Correct,
spot
there's a
for
vice
that, yes.
chairman, yes.
So if somebody wants to assume that responsibility amongst this group here, then we will vote on it. Someone wants to be the,
I think you'd make an
my
excellent.
replacement in case I'm.
Change my
A deputy-
nomination.
you make
I
an
nominate the
excellent
current
deputy.
board, the, officers to
Continue.
continue on for
there you go.
2024.
You would.
That's a good,
You're leaving.
that's a good, that's a good one.
Okay,
Or I can mix it up if you'd like, because I'm.
okay, does anybody have any opposition to,
So who's the deputy chair?
Mr. Scully?
Who's the deputy chairman?
It's
I'm not
Mr.
sure.
Cabea.
seconding his opinion.
there is no?
Vice chair.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
vice chair, okay.
Chair or vice.
Well, I didn't know exactly what you called it.
I stand corrected.
And who is that at this point?
That's
Who is
Mr.
that?
Cabea.
Hmm?
Mr. Cabea.
B.
Oh,
Okay.
so I don't have to know.
Okay.
You're
Yeah,
already
that's fine.
there.
Yeah, we're
That's
gonna keep
right.
the slate as it is, right?
Yeah.
Yep,
Yeah.
that's the motion.
Okay, all right. All in favor of that?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Okay, thank you very much. And the last item on the agenda is the 2023 Annual Report of the Planning Commission. I'll turn it over to Mr. Puz.
Good evening, Chair. Chairman Strohmeyer and the rest of the Planning Commission. I'm here to basically hit the highlights of the 2023 Annual Mill Creek Township Planning Commission report as mandated by the municipality's planning code. There were 9 meetings last year out of 12. The Planning Commission reviewed and made recommendations on 9 small subdivisions, 7 land developments, 2 conditional uses, and 1 request for planning waiver and non-building declaration. The Planning Commission recommends to the Board of Supervisors for the for next year, to update the subdivision land development ordinance to be consistent with the new comprehensive plan and begin a 5-year review of the progress of the comprehensive plan. And I respectfully submit that. If there's any additional comments or changes, please let me know. Otherwise, I would ask for a vote to submit the annual report to the Board of Supervisors at the regularly scheduled next meeting.
Okay, does anybody have anything to add to that or change it? Okay, very good. All right,
I'll make a motion that it be submitted to the supervisors.
second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Okay, thank you very much. That's it for
Thank
the agenda. I will call the meeting, or adjourn the meeting at 5:54 and a half. Thank you very much, folks.
Second.